Hello guys, I am here back season 7 and you're not ready for this. You remember that energy back in the days 10 years ago. 10 years ago. I am having Sharon Wawera in the house, and today we have an extinguisher just here because we are talking about visitors etiquette. I am your host Lillian Favor. Welcome to season 7, and this is the only episode because this is the truth. There is no episode 1, episode 2, no. Visitors etiquette. Sharon, karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you for having me. Hi guys. My name is Sharon Wawera, like Lillian has said. And I'm excited to be here today. Yeah. Thank you for having me back. Yeah.
So, visitors etiquette. Mm-hmm. We are always visiting.
Yeah.
I have visited you right now. Mm-hmm. You will visit me next time.
Yeah.
Someone is visiting someone else. And probably we don't have a manual on like what to do and what not to do, because I have realized sometimes we just visit, like say I want to see you, I just come, but then there are some things that I should do or I should not do as a visitor, in as much as I'm a friend, but I'm coming to visit your place. It's not like we own the same house and maybe you're going to someone's house for the first time. So today, as we talk about visitors etiquette, I would love us to look at the things that we have seen commonly around in campus, outside campus, maybe when we are visiting our aunts, our grandparents, and just try to look at them and sweep the things that we have been doing, the rubbish that we have been doing, and so that we be good visitors. Visitors who have etiquette.
True. Yeah.
So, karibu.
Thank you. I think I particularly like something you said. I think most of what I'll be sharing is probably things I have learned from my mom. Because I'm like, you see things your mom does when she visits people, and it's like that's good etiquette. So I think honestly half of what I'll be sharing is probably things I've learned from seeing my mom do when she visits people.
So it means sometimes we do things because we have grown up.
Yeah.
One common thing in Africa is when a visitor comes, a cup of tea.
Clearly, Lillian just came to my house and I made her a cup of tea. Because it's like we make, especially in Kenya, when Kenyans, you visit people and they make you a cup of tea.
Not coffee, tea. It's tea to be specific. And I think that is something we have grown up with and we have seen. When you tell me what you have learned it from your mom, I'm like, like a cup of tea. Where a visitor comes and when you don't give them a cup of tea, you're like...
Kwanza, let me tell you a story. There's this time, I was home alone. We were in Shags. And then, I don't know, for some reason, I was alone in the house. And then someone came. And Mimi, I'm like, see, they'll just come. They came, they sat, we talked for some time. They told me they were looking for my mother. My mother was not there. So, see, after that, they left. And then my mom came. I'm like, even Ata Nani was here and they were looking for you. And my mother was like,
what did you give them?
Did you make them tea? I'm like, no. They just came and they sat and you talked and you made them nothing. I'm like, I had just eaten lunch, so there was no food. Is there milk in the carton? There's milk in the house and you just decided not to make them tea? She was so pissed.
I remember the same thing happened to me at home. It made me learn something, and from then on I could never repeat such a thing. My mom is someone who has understood me. I love my friends, and like I do keep them. And after church, I would bring my friends home. So there is this time my mom had not left anything. Okay, my mom left bread, but my brother and I...
You ate the bread before the visitors came. Wow.
Okay. So, when we came with my friends at home, like, we didn't eat anything because you see the food that was in the house was not enough. So we decided, my brother and I decided we will not serve the food. I was young. You see, I was still growing. And when they left is when we like we had to heat up the food. And when my mom came and we were like, see, so and so was here, they said hi to you.
Yeah.
And then my mom asked, so what did you give them?
Nothing.
Like, so because she asked, na ile food ilibaki si ilikuwa kidogo sana. Like, mom, we didn't even eat it at that time. We waited for them to go so that we,
oh my God.
so that we eat it. Then she was like, I'm hoping you gave them something.
No.
I'm like, see, we didn't have money.
Walikula story.
We just made stories and then they left. Mom, they didn't even stay long. You see. And my mom was like, never again. She was like, you would have gone to your aunt's place, shop and taken bread and some milk and made something, or buy soda, or just make anything. From then, my mom, as much as she has never left the house that way, she has always, on Sundays, my mom cooks excess food.
Just in case your friends come over, because clearly.
Yeah, she does that, and excess tea, excess everything, because she knows sometimes we might not think to even serve, but when the food is there, you will now think. So it is something we have grown up with. So
yeah. So I think what we're actually talking about now is, as a host, just be a good host. You know, so
don't be a stingy host.
Don't be a stingy host. Yeah. But I think, just to take us back to the visitors, I think my first pro tip when visiting someone will be communicate. Kai, just don't just come knock at my door and you didn't tell me you're coming. It's just like, you should have said. Na sasa kama singekuwa, if I wasn't there, what?
I think communication is something, because one thing I tell people is that if you don't tell me you are coming and then you don't tell me you came, just stay shocked.
Because you just stay shocked because you never told
you
me
you didn't tell me you are coming, so you didn't find me. So like, don't blame me for not being in my house. And one quote, I don't know if it is a wise man who said this. He said that surprise visit will always surprise her.
It's so true. I'm like, you will be surprised. Manze, okay. Sometimes you'll just be in your house. Probably that day you don't even feel like seeing people, and then there's a knock. I'm like, Lord Jesus, not today. I just want to sleep. I'm sleeping in, and probably that time you haven't even done
cleaning, and your house is in a mess.
Manze,
and
you just like, leave me alone.
I could have some 10 minutes there. I will.
Just me 10 minutes. So I think it's actually very important for me. Like, I tend to think I'm a decent host, but I like to be told, like, I'm going to come on this day, or can I come over for lunch, and we can catch up and talk, and that's nice. So then I know I'm hosting Lillian today for lunch.
You don't come.
Yeah.
And I think one common thing that happens is, you see, I was around your place.
I'm like, why were you around my place?
I had gone to visit a friend near the main gate, so I decided, let me just pop up and say hi. I'm like,
but I think
as you are there,
now that we're here, it depends with the level of relationship we have with this person. Because I think there are friends who just pop into my house. I'm like, okay, like it's fun to see them. But I think sometimes it's so irritating. Man, I haven't seen this guy in a year. Why
are you popping?
Why? Tulipitana jana kwa barabara tu kunsalimia. But now you're popping into my house. Wow.
I think they're those close friends. We won't blame them for popping up in our house.
Most of the time when my friends just pop in, I'm like, I'm excited. So,
yeah. So there's that one that, like, we have not seen each other for quite some time.
Yeah.
But then you didn't tell me you were coming.
I'm like, we don't even know each other like that. God, I think well, this is so much shit. But there's a time someone visited my house. I'm like, I don't even know how they know I live here. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's those people you've seen once in a while, and then they came, and so now I have to figure out how I'm including in my lunch plans. And then I have to figure out what stories we're going to talk about for like 4 hours that you'll be. I'm like,
I think
we've had lunch, now we're making supper, because clearly
I think another thing concerning that is don't overstay your welcome.
Yeah.
Like, you are there for lunch, for God's sake.
I just go home. That's enough. That's enough conversation. This podcast is going to make us sound so selfish. It's like some selfish ladies. It is just good not to overstay.
Oh, you're welcome. I think it happens mostly when, say, maybe you are at home. Maybe you have visited your friends at home, maybe, or your aunt, or just someone has visited, and then you didn't tell them you will stay for the night, but you're there. They have not planned, so they have to look for pajamas. They have you
look for pajamas for you.
Let me just.
I think I should visit Kidalili and this one.
Or they have to look for
pajamas.
Something that you will use to. Like, they have to organize for a room. Like, if you had gone for lunch, please. Just
Kwanza, sometimes when people visit, Kwanza, there was a time someone called me and then they're like, hi, we have not talked for like 6 months. Okay. Hi, how are you doing? Are you in campus? Okay, I'm coming. I'm like, okay. All right. You're in my head. I'm like, okay, you're coming where? To do what? And then they come and I'm looking at the bag they are coming with. I'm like, Lord Jesus, they are coming with a bag. They are coming to stay. And I'm like, in my head, and I stayed for like a whole week, and I'm like, and it's that point you can't ask them, when are you leaving? I'm like, Lord. I used to hang out at like my other friends. Now I became a visitor to my other friend.
It makes
I'm like, well, I'm staying here. Again.
It is good to even and even when I think that is also communication. Say, hey Sharon, I would like to come visit you. If you're around campus, I would like to stay at your place for some days. There's this and this I'm doing. There's something I'm anticipating for. So you see, like, when you communicate clearly.
Like, then they came, they didn't even tell me they were coming to sleep at my house. So now I just figured out they've come, they are coming to sleep, and it's indefinitely. I'm like, Lord.
I think also communication is where if you know you will be late. It is good to tell your host, I will be late. I will be late, so that you're not keeping them waiting. Like, tell them I will be late with like.
Maybe I will sleep and lock you out. Imagine utalala nje. I sound like such a mean one thing in this podcast, obviously. But I imagine you've hosted someone and it's like at 10 in the night and you're still waiting for them to come back. I'm like, why? I need to be asleep. I need 8 hours of sleep. A baby girl is tired. So now I am altering my sleep schedule. Also, now that we are here, when you're being hosted, at least make yourself a bit useful, because you're hosting someone and they're not. If I am cooking, ask if I need help in the kitchen. If you're coming for a day, that's okay. I'll cook for you, I'll host you nicely. But now it's day 3. I am still having to buy, to cook, to clean, to wait for you to wake up so that I make the bed you slept on. At least have the decency of making the bed you slept on. Why did you make your bed?
I'm so pissed off. Don't beat me.
Nimepunguza hasira. But hosting people,
or rather, you could like if you're even if it is like for that lunch, or you could carry along something.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing, Manze.
Treats.
Yeah.
Maybe
don't go to people. You've just walked in with your suitcase to be hosted. You didn't carry anything. I have a friend who we're really close, but even with our friendship, like when she comes to my house, she'll come and she'll be like, Ma, mama alisema nikuletee hii na pia akasema like manzeo when she visits my house she's a beautiful, so like it's you can clearly see she put thought into the expenses she was going to stay here with. She put thought into how she's going to leave your house. Like even when she comes to visit, like it's not stressful. Even when she's leaving, I'm like, oh yeah, you're going now. Well, will I stay with? Because like it's been such a fun experience to host her, because it wasn't stressful. Honestly, if you're being hosted and you're making your hosts stressed, then clearly there's something wrong. Like your host should not be getting stressed because you're visiting. Yeah,
sure. I think on the part of communication, there's something else on communicating on dietary. What is it called, daktari? Restrictions.
Msinita hivyo kwanza packs nitawaambia.
Restrictions.
Yeah. If you have any allergies, communicate.
I think it is something I have gone through. Especially, I have gone to people's houses. I didn't tell them that I don't do this. I don't use this. I don't use this. So my good thing, I'm a firstborn. You see, as a firstborn, even if you don't take something, you will just eat. Utaenda uteseke uko peke yako because you didn't tell them. I also love communication. So if I don't communicate, I just allow myself to face the consequence of not communicating. So I also think when you are visiting someone, or someone has called you for lunch or for supper or for breakfast, it is good when you tell them, I don't use beans, I don't use this, I don't use this. So that when they are cooking, they don't cook something alafu you can't tell
and
them,
then you can't eat. I'm like,
I can't eat this. For me, I will eat because
because you've already
I didn't communicate.
That reminds me, there's a time I hosted Lillian. When you come live, when you visit my house, when I cook, like I throw in so many spices and I put a lot. I tend to overdo on chilies. So Lillian visits me and I'm seeing her eat the food as she's blowing. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, babes, guys.
I just
ila pilipili si ya umbali ni ya karibu. But
so it is just good to communicate.
But I think pia as a host, it's important to just try make something that is, because in my point I should have asked if she takes chilies, honestly. Or no one would have died if I didn't put chilies. Okay, the chilies make food better. Go argue with your parents. But yeah, so I, as a host, it's important to ask your guests or people who are visiting, ask them if they have any allergies, if there's anything they don't take. Yeah, I think that's important.
I think there's another thing on personal boundaries. Respecting personal boundaries. But people, lakini watu.
Wow. Human beings will shock you, I tell you.
Okay, it is nice.
Says another human being.
There are, okay, I'm also a touchy person. Like I will tend to, like I will touch this. I will touch things. It is good to respect people's personal boundary. There are people who don't hide their diaries. Then you want to pick everything and read everything, and you want to.
I am triggered because
I think I had a friend recently, and he was asking me, I have an album, and he asked me, Leon, what's this? I was like, that is an album. So he's like, can I look? I was amazed and shocked because of how he respected the album, and he was, can I check? Is it personal? You see, like I was.
Do you have personal?
There are. You see, there are people who have albums that
you can't look at.
That maybe I didn't know why he asked. Because I already told him it is an album. Yeah, but personal space.
Yeah, why I was already triggered even as she started. I think as a comrade, me and my tiny bed sitter, like so I have a journal, and it's usually like there on top of my bed. Oh, because is in my house, so I'm pointing to her there. Anyway, assuming you're all seeing where I'm pointing, which you're not. Clearly I don't understand this podcast story. Anyway, So like on my bed, like there's usually a journal because I'll write down things before I sleep and then just place it there, or when I wake up, I don't know, stuff like that. So someday I'm hosting someone and I turn and they are reading my journal. I'm like, oh my god, why are you touching my things? Why are you touching my things? One, because just sit, don't touch anything. Two, in what world is picking someone's notebook and reading it okay? Like, unless you have been like, what's this? Can I look at it? But if you haven't, I'm just like, in what world is what you're doing okay? So, that one, I was triggered. I was just like, no. Yeah.
I think one last one is when you have already said people should make themselves useful. See, they could maybe help clear the table, like simple things, small things. They do matter. You don't just sit there unless you like it is your first time. You don't even know where the sink is. That is okay.
Yeah, but sit at the sink is
okay. It's okay, Sharon. Okay, but like maybe it's your first time. For the first time, you just be a good guest.
Be a visitor.
Just be a visitor. But if it's you are a friend, you have visited, you already know, you see, these are that utensils. It's not you that cooked. You see, even if you will not carry something, sometimes even your presence matters. But make yourself useful by helping out some chores. Don't just be there.
Don't just eat.
Just try do something. So after you, or not even after you have gone, there are people who don't give. They don't say I am leaving.
Oh yeah, you just come back and you're like, wow, there are things. Okay, good.
Like as a guest or as a visitor, just say a good
be
goodbye.
Like, thank you so much for hosting me. I have truly appreciated it. Even if you haven't, just say it. But
don't leave just like that. There are people who can live with a phone call. Like someone was coming for lunch and you cannot see them anymore. Like they left. We don't know if they are coming back
or they are not coming.
So you tend to wait for them. Maybe
you're never getting invited to my house again. Trust me. It's such shenanigans. Not here.
Like someone just like pick a call. They don't tell you, Sharon. I got a call. I have to leave. But thank you. You see, I thank you for your for hosting me. See you next time. Like a call, and that is how they went.
That's how they went.
Anakwambianga tu jioni, oh pole. Ama until you ask, kwani uliendaje?
I'm waiting for you. It's 10. I'm waiting. Kumbe, you're not even coming back.
Or if you are hosted maybe for a night or two and you came with your things and maybe you have the spare key, then you don't tell your host you are leaving tomorrow. So maybe you had a class, you have gone to class, then you come back, you even get pressured because you think umeibiwa. You think like maybe someone robbed my house. And like you get stressed. Kumbe this person
wondering, why did they now leave my spare key?
So it is just good to
it's just a lot.
And even when you have gone, it is good to follow up. To say I arrived safely. Maybe you are traveling. Just say I arrived safely.
Thank you.
Like just to be good. These are things you will not be taught in class, but you see, it's just a free podcast that you just had to click and
listen to and just learn
and like follow up and just tell them, how are you doing? See, and if if the host was so nice, it's like I loved it, and you can even pay back and tell them I'm hosting you. See, but it's not a must. It's just that I'm saying follow up. Ask how they are, kama walibaki poa.
Do a thank you gift, a thank you
note.
Stuff like that.
Just try to be creative, innovate, creatively.
And just go with something, like do some shopping when you're going, buy like bananas or some bare minimum. You can do a thank you card, you can do something for like the house, some part of their decor, or even flowers, when you're going, because it's like
like we are not in Kenya.
I'm going to India.
It's like you're not okay.
What I'm saying doesn't make sense.
But yeah, that is
But I think that's a thing I also learned from my mom. Like, I never saw my mom even a single day until she just woke up and she went to the neighbor. It's funny. Like, she'll go shop. Or I remember there was a time I was going to visit my cousins, and my mom is like, na unaenda na nini? I'm like, sinaenda tu. Unaenda mkono tupu hata ujali. I'm like, okay, all right, I get what you're saying. Because you just don't go to people's houses empty-handed. Leave the place better than you found it. Like, if you visit someone and they have to incur more expenses with your presence, it's just like, surely. Yeah.
So yeah, guys, that is visitors etiquette.
Yep.
And you can share if you felt touched and you felt attacked. Sorry, but that's it.
It's the attack for me. We're here to attack you.
Sorry, guys. You should just console yourself, because that is the truth. You can change where you think this wasn't nice for me to do. If there is something you felt whether this is true, if you feel there is someone else who should listen to this podcast, just share it, and so that all of us be good hosts and good visitors. So see you next time.
Bye.